Good evening. Sorry for the late start. This is the October 23rd, 2013 meeting of the Lowell Conservation Commission. Moving on to business. First item on the agenda is a notice of intent continued from prior meetings, Kazanjian Enterprises, concerning DEP file number 2060719. The project location is 150 Wood Street. It's construction of a commercial building, retaining wall, pavement, drainage system, associated grading, landscaping, and utilities within a wetland buffer and bordering vegetated wetlands. We have a letter dated October 21st of this year, 2013, from their engineer requesting a continuance. They're still, from what I understand, they're exploring options to move the historic building that's on the site, and because of access way, and so they're making substantial changes to
That's correct.
to the plan. Okay. Do I have a motion to continue, or if the motion to continue?
I make a motion to continue.
Do we have a, did they request a date? Because they don't have one on their letter.
My understanding is that they're looking just for continuance to the next meeting.
Okay, all right. Why don't we do this till the first November meeting? I don't know what the date is offhand, but
It's November 13th.
November 13th. All right. It's second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. All right. Moving on to the second item is request for determination of applicability, Mass DOT Highway Division. Project location is Route 3. It's resurface a section of Route 3 as well as adjust or rebuild any drainage structures as needed within the wetland buffer bordering vegetated wetlands. Yep, just approach the podium and kindly identify yourself for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Renata Welch. I am an environmental engineer with Mass Highway DOT District 4. And we're here tonight to talk to you about Route 3 Maintenance Preservation Project. This particular project actually starts at in Burlington at Route 128 and continues along Route 3 northerly to New Hampshire border. In Lowell, the limits of work are from Chelmsford, Lowell Town Line, up until Chelmsford North. It's a very small section of Route 3. It's about, I think, 0.6 miles. What we're proposing to do is to resurface existing paving. We're gonna, excuse me, put 3/4-inch asphalt overlay in the travel lanes and install fog seal and friction treatment to the in breakdown lanes. There's going to be very limited milling associated with this work along limits of paving. We're also going to adjust any existing drainage and utility structures in the roadway as needed, and also bringing them to the new paving grade. And along with that work, of course, we're going to remove existing pavement markings and install temporary and permanent roadway markings. All this work is proposed strictly within the roadway limits. We're not going to be going outside of the paving areas. It's going to be edge to pavement, edge of roadway to edge of roadway. We're going to be staying within right-of-way areas, and sedimentation and erosion control measures will be installed in areas of environmental concern, and we're going to maintain those throughout the duration of the construction. And that's essentially the project in a nutshell. If there's any questions, I'd like to answer them, or Cody Holimo is here. He's the designer on the project.
I don't have any questions. Commissioner Bonham? Commissioner Lynch? Commissioner Lovely?
Just a quick question.
Sure.
Note any changes in any existing drainage structures like catch basins or anything like that?
If they're in the roadway,
Yeah.
within the limits of our work, we'll adjust them as needed if they need
Just
to
for
be
the
replaced.
paving?
Yes,
Okay.
just for the paving.
No new
No
drainage
new-
structures, no new outfalls or anything like that?
No.
Okay. No further questions, thank you.
All right, this is here for a request for determination of applicability. Is there anyone here who would like to offer comments regarding this? Is there anyone here who would like to offer their comments? All right. Okay, Chair notes that there's no one. Do I have a motion? To me, it seems this is a -3, so.
I move to issue a -3 on this project.
Seconded by,
I'll second.
motion by Commissioner Varnum, seconded by Commissioner Lovely. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a request for certificate of compliance, Trinity Freudenberg Limited Partnership, concerning DEP file number 2060679. The project location is 110 Canal Street.
Good evening, my name's Charlie Ware. I'm with Meridian Associates, and I'm representing the applicant. I believe the commission is familiar with the site, 110 Canal Street. Was recently completed, actually I think it was completed a while ago, but seeking a certificate of compliance. We filed for the certificate a couple weeks ago, did a site walk on, was it Thursday last week? Whatever, it was last week. And I did receive a letter from, or the memo from the agent. There were a few issues. One was the green roof. We neglected. I'll throw Trinity under the bus. Trinity neglected to provide the design for the green roof to the commission. That has been remedied. I know Swati had a chance to look at it. The company who did the green roof design is a very reputable company. And we also, during the site walk, had the opportunity to go up and look at the green roof. So hopefully that issue is addressed. The other issue was on the plan that we submitted the evening of the meeting. There were two areas that were colored in green. They were never intended to be green space. They were always, one was a bituminous sidewalk, and the other was a crushed stone area around a transformer pad. And I'll take responsibility for that one. There was an oversight on directing of one of my people on putting together the rendering for the meeting. That plan ended up in the record, so it's colored green. It appears that the intent was for it to be green area, but it was never intended to be that. They're both small areas. The sidewalk area is it's 4 feet wide and about 30 feet long, so it's 120 square feet. The other area around the transformer pad, which is crushed stone, is probably maybe 100 to 200 square feet. The drainage calculations that were performed for the project were both based upon those areas being impervious. The crushed stone area isn't technically impervious, but the sidewalk certainly is. And those impervious areas are directed through the BMP, through the storm septic treatment system, which was proposed for the site. So with those things addressed, I believe the site is in conformance with the order of conditions.
Excuse me, the walkway you're referencing is the one just to the east of the green roof building? It's that one, yeah. Right there. And the transformer pad's just to the north of it? Yeah. Okay. All right. Those, those are out of the floodplain anyway, I'm
That's
not-
correct.
Yeah.
Everything's out of the floodplain on this
Yeah,
site.
So, okay, I don't have any questions. I know, I looked at the outside, I wasn't able to do the green roof view
Yeah,
because I wasn't able to
you
be
came a
there,
little bit later, yeah.
but I know some members were there, so Commissioner Varnum?
I thought the project was done exceptionally well, and I was able to be on the official site walk, and the green roof was pretty amazing. It's the first one I'd seen close up. It seems to be establishing itself well, and everything else was erosion-proof as far as I could see. There was nothing that really was of concern.
Commissioner Lynch? Commissioner Lovely? All right. All right, do I have a motion? From what I saw from the outside, I have no problems issuing a COC on this, so.
Yeah, move to issue a certificate of compliance on this project.
By Commissioner Varnum, seconded by
Second.
Commissioner Lynch. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, thank you.
Appreciate the commission's time. Take care.
Moving on to other business, in the first item in other business is 47 Stockbridge Avenue concerning DEP file number 2060720. This was before us, I believe at the last meeting, or the meeting before that, I'm not entirely sure. And we issued an order of conditions with the specific condition that the applicant provide an amended plan to reflect the changes or to show the cuts and fills at the appropriate elevations and in the appropriate area for the filling in the floodplain because of the fence and the deck posts and other changes on the site. We have received an amended plan that still needs a little bit of work, but regardless of that, on its own, the DEP decided to intervene and appeal our order. I've been on this commission for, almost 2 decades now, and as I said before the meeting, this is the first time I can recall a DEP doing that to one of our orders to intervene all by themselves. It must be slow down there. That's all I can say. I think they have more important things to do than to be reviewing very small projects such as this, and unfortunately to much aggravation and stress to the homeowner. From what I understand now is the DEP has indicated a willingness to withdraw their intervention and their superseding action. And what that leaves us now is we have an order of conditions. We're expecting some updated plans we've received. We have received a revision, but that revision still needs work. And to that end, the engineer, David Beatty, I spoke to last week after having received the revised plans showing the, as he characterizes it, a cut swale behind the home. He needs to show the cut elevations. He also needs to use more standard nomenclature for the cuts and fills, meaning to show, here's Mr. Beatty. We're talking about you, so why don't you come on up? Well, let me repeat. What we're saying is I know I discussed this with you
Yes.
outside of the meeting last week, and regarding the revised plan that you submitted. Just to recap, the DEP apparently, from what we understand, has indicated a willingness to withdraw their intervention.
Yes.
So it's going to come back
Yeah, they
here.
called me today.
Yeah, to the extent that they withdraw, this is still an outstanding order of conditions, and the special condition was that you're going to provide some updated, revised plans, which you've done, but that revised plan still needs some more work. We need to see the cut area that you showed us. We need to see the topography where you're cutting and filling. Well, the filling is on the fence, but where you're cutting by elevation, by grading.
Sure.
And what we would like is, I think it's, what is it, 90, what's the 100 elevation is 90?
I believe it was 99, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it 99?
98 or 99.
Yeah,
but-
so your best is to show like from 99 to 98, how much filling you're doing
Right.
at that 1 foot interval, and then how much compensation. But the key, Mr. Beatty, is that at every elevation, you need to provide the same or more storage capacity.
Right,
Okay, you can't make up for it at a different elevation,
okay.
okay?
I just thought that it was a little bit difficult to do that, considering that the deck was really at the highest elevation on the lot, and the fence was at a completely different elevation. So rather than trying to create two swales or two storage areas, I thought it best to try to combine the two. So I did my very best to try to get as high as I could with that, quote, swale. But I didn't want to run the swale right up to the house, to where, perhaps that highest elevation was where the deck was involved. So I did my very best. I was very, very close, though, Chairman
Okay,
Zacher. I mean,
what I know you did your best, but what I want to emphasize in it, and I think you're kind of getting a gist of how critical filling in a floodplain is, because the DEP just, based on just, what are we, 10 cubic yards here? Based on just 10 cubic yards, they intervened, which is a relatively minor amount, okay? So, you need to provide, the storage at every elevation.
Okay.
And that you had, I think it was at the 96, 97
Right.
contour where you were short about 10 cubic feet or so, so.
right,
So you need to, you need to find that somewhere,
okay.
okay? I mean, there's plenty of room on the property still. I mean, there's plenty of contours on the property still. I mean,
Okay.
it's, I hate to say to rip up the front yard, but do you have a sprinkler system out there, Mrs. Quigley? No? Okay. But, I think you can find it. It seemed to me, normally we don't do a conditional order of conditions like that unless it's pretty clear that the site can support the filling that's been going on, and it was clear, it was clear to the commission that the site was easily able to support the filling that was going on, so,
Okay.
okay.
Sure.
So you need to show the contours, you need to, and use more of a standard nomenclature, so instead of just showing like 99 feet, do 98 to 99 feet, and how much filling is going on at that interval, and how much cutting you're doing at
Okay.
that interval. And again, make sure your cuts are the same or more,
Okay,
okay? And as I said, we're not gonna make any changes. What we're going to do, we're gonna transmit to the DEP, we'll transmit to the DEP a corrected language on the order of conditions. Apparently, the order of conditions omitted our request for an updated plan, and that may have triggered some of this too, because they're just relying on the original plan that was submitted with the order,
okay.
so.
Yeah. We'll submit any revisions that need to be, that shows that it actually reflects the vote of the commission, and we'll also communicate directly with DEP so that they understand what the vote was.
Okay. When do you think you can provide that updated plan? Do you think you'll have that by the next meeting? It's November
sure.
13th?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I don't think that there was anything else. To the extent that the DEP is insistent that this has to go on an amendment, and we don't have to do this now, and to the extent that it could delay the process, Aaron, I would entertain a motion to waive any additional fees or publications that that the Quigleys would be required to do, because it's through no fault of their own that this ended up in front of the DEP, so, all right,
Problem.
okay. All right,
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
thank you. Yeah, just a second.
I move to waive any fees on the amendment of this particular project.
All right, motion by Commissioner Varnum, then, it'll do it in advance.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lynch, and that's to the extent that there are any, so, okay. I'm not anticipating we're gonna run into a problem with that.
Based on the conversation before the meeting, it sounds like there may not be a need for an amended order. In that case, there's no fee. It's just
Right.
It's just a matter of
This is just a matter of submitting an updated plan.
correct.
That's all I'm treating it as, so, okay. The motion has been made, it's been seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. All right, thank you for coming, and sorry you had to come in under these circumstances, so. Last item on the agenda now is this was a formal request for an extension, no? Yeah, okay,
Yes.
I don't know why this is under other business, but in any event, next item on the agenda is 15-19 Cayenne Street concerning DEP file number 2060666, and this is a request for an extension of an order of conditions. The discussion of the applicant's request to extend the order of conditions issued on December 29th, 2010. Now, I know this is an active site, active in the sense that it's active is best, you know, the very nature of it is a slow time process. It's mostly observation now. You've been before us several times about the site. If you want to add anything else to that, I myself have no problem extending this order for another 3 years, so.
I'm here if you got any questions. My name's Joe Higgins. I'm the consultant for National Grid. I'm with Innovative Engineering Solutions.
All right, Commissioner Varnum?
Is the process going as you expected, or did you run into some kind of delay?
No, this is for the boom system that we put in the canal, and what this request to extend the order is just to continue to maintain that boom system.
And how long do you think that will be needed?
At least another 3 years. We're evaluating more permanent options that would require some more aggressive construction techniques, and whenever that happens, we'll be back in front of you to discuss those.
So did you find the source of the contamination at all?
We have not found the source of the oil yet. We have put in probably 30 wells right adjacent to the canal and on the other side of the railroad tracks, and we have not found significant quantities of oil in those wells yet. And we also have not seen, we've seen a decrease in the amount of oil going into the canal. So we're just thinking maybe it's washed, what was there before is washed out and we've collected it. But we want to continue to maintain this system.
Does this impair the use of the site at all by National Grid or whoever owns it?
Well, where the booms are in the Pawtucket Canal. The only use of that right now, well, not now, because the canal's drained, is the Park Service for boat tours. And I think it's now become part of their boat tours to point out the cleanup that's going on up there.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Lynch? Commissioner Lobley?
So it sounds like you have two components. This, you have a reactive core mat over the sediments themselves, and
Yes.
that's still intact, and there's no seepage through the core mat itself?
We've seen that during certain canal drawdowns, and as we've seen it, we've addressed it, where we have cut those sections of the core mat out and replaced it with new core mat. That was all in part of our original notice of intent to maintain the mat and the boom system. The canal's in a drawdown now, so we're doing some maintenance on the boom
Yeah.
system. The core mats look to be in good shape, but some of the absorbent panels in the boom system we're changing out now. That's the kind of maintenance we do we're in constant contact with Enel, who operates the water levels in the canal. And when there's a drawdown, we get an email. And if it's an extended drawdown, then we plan maintenance on the booms.
Okay. No further questions, thank you.
All right, I have a consensus then that we can extend this? Yeah, I don't, it's, to me, as I said, it's an active site, as active as a site like this is going to be, so.
Move to extend this order for another 3 years.
I'll second it.
All right, with, and I'm certain, because you've been before us a number of times, so I'm certain you'll be back before us just to provide us with periodic updates as to
Absolutely.
and changes, okay. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. All right,
Thank
thank you.
Thank you.
Go Red Sox.
Yeah. We don't have minutes, and do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded by Commissioner Lynch, motion by Commissioner Lovely. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Go Red Sox, as been said. Good night.